I don't want to keep him waiting, is our very special guest. He is one of the featured performers from this year's ECWA Super 8 tournament in the field of 8. Gil K. Marcells, otherwise known as GKM. What's going on, GKM? How you doing today?
What's going on, gentlemen? How we doing, baby? What's up?
I love it. I love it. Look at that title belt there. Is that the ISPW championship?
This is indeed the ISPW championship, meaning that I am numero uno over at ISPW, baby.
Wow. And what a fantastic way to represent the company kind of heading into the Super 8 tournament. It's got to have you stoked, right? I'm looking at this field. It's going to be exciting.
Oh man, I am so fired up for this. I've been wanting to do this Super 8 tournament for a long time. Past few years, I've been trying to get in, and this year is that year. Everything has been taken off, and we are just soaring, torching the skies, baby.
What does Super 8 mean to you?
What does Super 8 mean to me? Super 8 means that you are someone to pay attention to. Super 8 means that you are one of the best. I mean, look at the names that are attached to the Super 8. You got Homicide, you got Christopher Daniels, you got Jerry Lynn. To be able to attach my name to guys like that in just some small fashion and look at where their careers went, this Super 8 means a lot.
No, that's fantastic. And obviously, coming up through the ranks of ISPW, that's a pretty big deal, especially regionally. It's one of the bigger kind of independent promotions that's out there. How has your time with ISPW and certainly other independents, how has it kind of prepared you for this moment?
For this moment, well, ISPW, they've thrown a lot at me. I started with ISPW, I want to say about 2, maybe 3 years ago. Started from the bottom pre-show and just working my way up through the ranks. Became tag team championships for the first time ever with another person that's in the tournament, my tag partner, Leo Sparrow, Birds of the Sun, baby, go. And, just been working our way up ever since, holding the tag team championships over there to the Tri-State championship and then winning for the second time the ISPW championship, which means I am Mr. Grand Slam, baby. So it's been throwing everything at me. I've been ups, downs, everywhere in between, cage matches, street fights, you name it, I've done it. And that's just over at ISPW. I do have a whole lot more experience across other promotions, American Excellence Wrestling, recently PPW. We're just knocking it out. We're trying to make that name.
And again, I feel like, you're one of those names where it's like you're on the precipice of just really kind of breaking out in wrestling. And I think that's a fantastic thing. And hopefully the Super 8 will be able to help to highlight that. For people who have never seen GKM in a match, what are they missing?
What you're missing, if you've never seen a GKM match, you are missing that fire. You are missing that desire, that excitement, that passion. When I wrestle, I bring back that feeling. It's not just going out there. Yes, you're trying to win the match, but I also try to bring the people in there with me. So oftentimes when I'm having my matches, you're hearing the crowd with me. Going all throughout the match, bringing that fire. I try to bring that feeling back, restoring the feeling. That's what we're doing on this side.
Okay. You're obviously a student of the game and your history with the Super 8. Has it hit you yet? Have you reached that kind of pinch me moment that you're going to be part of such a historic tournament that so many big names have come through?
Honestly, it hasn't. It hasn't. And there's a reason. I am very much aware of what's going on, but I was told very, very early in this game by an important person to stay humble because things started happening very, very early. And I think that's where part of my success has come from, where I'm allowing myself to not get overexcited, but to be able to live in the moment and appreciate what it actually is. So right now, it's not going to really hit me till I walk out in that curtain. And then it's like, okay, it's time to go and do your thing.
Okay, and as I mentioned, you're one of the field of 8. Is there anybody in particular in the tournament that you're kind of hoping you're going to get to lock horns with?
If I had anybody that I would want to be able to lock horns with, just because it would be special, it would be a story to tell. It would be if, like I said, my tag partner, Leo Sparrow, Birds of the Sun, if we're on opposite sides in that bracket and then we
Yeah,
both manage to make it to the finals, that right there, that would be very special for me.
that's definitely exciting. Yeah, and I'd assume it'd be a really competitive match. I mean, I've seen you guys together. A lot of chemistry there.
Man, I mean, there's a reason why we're the Birds of the Sun. We're flying all over everywhere. As tag teams, we're successful, and as individuals in our
Yeah,
singles careers, we're both very, very successful, very, very on right now. And yeah, he does his thing, I do my thing, and when we come together, it's like almost like the Avengers. You know what I mean?
sure, sure.
Yeah,
One of the
absolutely.
listeners wants to know what your favorite moment in wrestling has been so far.
For myself personally,
Yes, yeah.
my favorite moment. Um, I don't know if you would want me to pull back the curtain here, but it would have to be last year, Royal Crown Wrestling. I had a match with Paul London, and Paul
Okay.
London was one of my favorites growing up. And for him to pull me to the side afterwards, after the match, he told me I got it. That right there, that it took my confidence to a whole nother level. Whole nother level.
Yeah, that's definitely got to be a really kind of cool feeling to have a hero of yours kind of give you that stamp of approval.
Yes.
And I'd assume it's carried you, really. I mean, look at the way your career has gone for the last year or
I
so.
mean, there's so many moments, so many moments. That I could just think of, but that just came off the top of my head. If I
Mhm.
could give another moment, it would be winning this ISPW championship and having my mom join me in the ring right there after winning it. So that right there, nah, you can't fake that. So
Oh,
there's
very
plenty.
good.
There's plenty.
Okay. Now, one of the other listeners wants to know, kind of, I know you've been involved kind of on and off with Super Crazy Pro Wrestling as well. They want to know your experience with that. How was that?
Super crazy, super crazy is super crazy, baby.
It
No,
definitely is.
it's a bunch of great guys over down there. I haven't
Yeah.
been there in a long, long time. That's
Okay.
one of the places I was at when I was just starting out, and yeah, it was a great starting point. You know, going
Yeah.
if I were to go back, I would love to go back and put another championship around this
There
waist, around
we
these
go.
shoulders.
Right. Right.
Things are a little bit different now. Got a little more seasoning on your boy, a little more sazon, So, yeah, Super Crazy is
Sure.
great. If you guys ever got to go check out their shows, they have a bunch of great guys over there. You got Samael Fauzi, you got Primal Fear, you got Tim Dynamite. There's a lot of guys that are down there killing it right now. Shout out to those guys.
Tremendous roster for sure. So
Absolutely.
you talked about breaking in. Where do you see yourself maybe in 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years.
Yeah, long term.
Woo! If I would, I mean, dream big. I want to be at WWE. You know,
Okay.
dream big. But if
Okay.
not WWE, I definitely want to be on national television. Would definitely love to be a household name. And if I'm not there, then we are gonna keep on killing it out here on the independent scene, trying to take this thing all over the world. I want to hear the whole world scream "cacaw," and I mean that. you know.
I think it's going to come at some point for sure. So you mentioned WWE. Anybody in particular that would be a dream opponent for you?
Huh, absolutely. The phenomenal one, AJ Styles. I don't even got to think about that
Right.
one.
Yeah,
You know,
he's another Super 8 guy.
I know, man. I know.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, I'm trying to get there before he gets out. You know what I'm saying? So
Sure, sure.
please do not hang up those boots, dog. I'm trying to make that happen.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Um, yeah, so we were talking about the Super 8 tournament, and obviously it's been absolutely instrumental in like helping to launch careers to the absolute next level. I think it's a really exciting thing, and like I said, with this lineup, there's a healthy mix of like young guys and veterans. I feel like this could be one of the more competitive fields I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's stacked. It's stacked. You know, you got Leo Sparrow, you got Brian Morris, that's over at Monster Factory. You got Mortar, who's over there killing it in New England. You got a ton of guys. It's just like it's honestly it's damn near overwhelming. But each one is talented in their own right, but I am too. And I'm coming to bring it to each and every single person out there. There's 8.
Okay.
I want to be Mr. Super 8. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. So obviously, to compete in the Super 8 tournament and be successful at it, obviously it involves 3 matches in one night, which I think not everybody can do that. I'm assuming that you can. This listener wants to know in particular, like, is there anything special that goes into training for a night like this, a tournament like this?
Is there anything special?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the grind, it just doesn't stop. Every time I'm at practice over at Creator Pro, I'm trying to blow myself up all the time. Every time I'm at the gym, I'm trying to blow myself up all the time. This is an endurance game. This is going to be. Like you said, it's 3 matches in one night. Match 1, you're fresh, but you kind of want to get in and get out quick. I want to be there all night because then match 2, you know, the gas in the tank doesn't just refill itself. And then if you're lucky enough, match number 3. But the difference between me and everybody else, I do have experience in a tournament. I've won a tournament myself, Pro Wrestling R, and that's why I became the Rise champion, my first singles championship. So
Okay.
I do know what it feels like to be in a tournament, and I do know what it's like to go the distance.
All right, very good. Howard, you had a question for GKM.
Yeah, he kind of answered a little bit, but I see that you don't lack confidence in yourself. But what separates you from the other 7 contenders in the match that's going to make you the Super 8 champion?
Well, besides hard training, besides actually winning a tournament previously, I would say that I have a way to get the crowd behind me. And even when I'm dead tired, even when I'm gassed out, they keep me going. So if I'm able to have the crowd behind me, nobody's going to stop me. And not just me. I would say nobody's going to stop us.
All right, very, very, very good. GKM, I have no doubt that it's going to be a very exciting night on March 22nd in Morganville, New Jersey for the ECWA Super 8 tournament. I want to thank you for the time here tonight.
Of course.
And,
thank you for having me.
Of course. Yeah, no, it was a real pleasure. Could I ask a favor of you before we go?
What's happening? Wait from me, baby.
All right. Call. Could I? That was a piss poor one. I'm sorry.
More energy, more. There it is. There it is.
I love it. No, so would we be able to get you to record a bumper to play on the beginning of the show? Basically, you tell them who you are, remind them that they're listening to In the Room, and that way, when you're big and famous in a couple years, I'll be able to act like we were best buds.
Sure.
How's that sound?
Well, Brady, before he does that, can I just, because Ryan's going to kill me if I don't ask my question I ask everybody. It's a 2-part question, and I ask every independent wrestler that I get the privilege of talking to. Is 1, if you could pick any opponent from any era at any time, who would it be, and why are you picking Bobby Eaton?
I don't know why I'm not picking Bobby Eaton. But I would say if I were to have to go any era and any time. You said 2?
No, just any error, any competitor.
Owen Hart.
Owen Hart, very nice.
Wow. Okay. Why is that?
Owen Hart was a favorite of mine as a kid. Like, although Brett was a favorite, Owen was the one that really stuck out for me a lot.
Yeah. I always felt like he was every bit as good as Brett, but he had that personality.
Yeah,
you know?
he definitely did. He had that personality, even when he was mean mugging or whatever, but he was still nice, you know?
Yeah.
You know, that's where I started using the spinning wheel kick as a nod to Owen.
Beautiful.
So,
that's awesome.
RIP.
That's awesome.
Yes, indeed.
Well, again, GKM, thank you so much for the time. Yeah, so for the bumper, if you could just tell people who you are, remind them that they're listening to In the Room, and we'll have you on your way.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
All right. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now soaring with the Phoenix GKM, and you are in the room.
I love it. I love it. GKM, thank you so much for the time here tonight. Best of luck in the ECWA Super 8. I'll see you at the show.
Thank you so much. See you guys there.
Take care, brother. There you go. There you have it. GKM, fantastic up-and-coming star. We talk about them all the time on the show. And this guy, he's got it, Kathy.
Did you get to ask my question?